it's their duty to keep these things and services going for us. And here we are waiting 5 hours to get on a plane. With little kids who probably wanted to eat before we got on the plane, but probably not going to be able to do that now.
Well, the travel nightmare continuing this weekend. TSA agents have gone weeks without pay, but could finally feel some relief with checks expected to arrive as early as tomorrow after President Trump's executive order. But is the damage already done to this agency? For more, let's bring in the Secretary-Treasurer for the American Federation of Government Employees, TSA Council 100, Johnny Jones. Thank you very much, Johnny, for being with us. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you. So this partial government shutdown, DHS shutdown, dragging on. Travelers are now seeing the impact of these agents not getting paid. As of Friday, more than 3,400 TSA officers had called out of work. That's a rate of nearly 12%, the highest since the start of this shutdown. And at major airports, the rates are a whole lot higher. Look at this. In Houston, 44% calling out at George Bush International, 40% in Atlanta, 37% in Baltimore, 33% at JFK. DHS says that TSA officers are finally going to get paid on Monday because of the president's executive order. But given how this has been, for these officers working in this job where you don't get paid unless, the sun is shining over Capitol Hill, is the damage already done? Is this enough to keep agents at work?
Well, one thing I can tell you is if you look at those numbers, if you have 44% call-outs in Houston, that means that 56% of the people came into work and they had to do the work for 100% of the people. The TSA officers took the oath to uphold the Constitution, similar to Congressman Bertram, who was just on. We uphold our oath every day, as you can see, across the country. 88% of the people still showed up for work. It's very difficult. The lines are long at some airports because, look, the economic conditions have caused people to be unable to go to work. I had a phone call last night where a TSA officer was like, look, I still don't have any money in my account. I don't have any gas. Their lives have been destroyed. It's much like a train wreck. When you don't get paid, this would be the second government shutdown in 5 months. We've went over half the year without being in paid status. Your lives become a total disaster. And the TSA officers and other parts of the department, they all need like a $10,000 bonus just to clean up their mess. Like their lives are disaster. Thousands and thousands of dollars in late fees per officer are being accumulated right now.
And I imagine it does a number on your credit as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There's also this belief that ICE and CBP are funded through 2029 because of the big, beautiful bill. You heard John Thune even mention that in his defense of letting this bill pass. But that is just, as we understand it, the frontline officers, the people who have guns and badges, and the civilian support staff are not actually funded through that bill. And you had employees begging our colleague here at Fox, Bill Melugin, to make that known to people. Here's what one person texted him. This is a CBP support employee. Texted Bill Melugin, the Senate bill paid TSA, but thousands of CBP and ICE professional staff will not be paid. The last paid work day for me was February 13th. Now Senate on paid vacation until April 13th. That is a guarantee for 2 months no pay. Very likely we won't be paid until May if Johnson lets the bill pass. Obviously he didn't, but the shutdown drags on. I know you don't personally represent CBP or ICE, but can you speak to this in a broader context? Can any DHS agency truly operate with its civilian support staff not getting paid?
Look, we are great advocates for our workforce at AFGE, and we do represent some of those other departments. The deal is this: nobody should go to work in America without being paid for 60 days. And there's no recourse for our colleagues. It is not about me, it's about we. I care deeply about the other folks who are not being paid. And I give kudos to President Trump for the executive order to help us. But we have to figure out a way. Our Congress has let down the American people. They have went home for the Easter holiday. They need to come back and finish their jobs because all these people in the Department of Homeland Security took the oath to uphold the Constitution of the United States, and they are going to work without being paid. This is just unattainable and un-American.
I want to also mention here, you've had about 500 TSA agents walk off the job because of this unreliable pay situation. The administrator testified on the Hill this week. I'll paraphrase it. The workforce has missed bill payments, received eviction notices, had their cars repossessed, utilities shut off, lost their child care, defaulted on loans, damaged their credit, drained retirement savings. Some of them are sleeping in their cars, she said. Now, are you concerned about the long-term viability of these jobs? How do you keep people working at TSA, and what do you make of the discussion around privatizing it?
Well, first of all, privatization is nothing more for profit. Okay, it has nothing to do with the people. It has nothing to do with security. When it costs twice as much to have private contractors because they have to make a profit for their investors. We took an oath. We're civil servants. We care deeply about our country. I came to TSA after 9/11. I left a good job in the corporate sector. I was making a lot more money than I ever did at TSA because my friends went in the Marines. I couldn't join. I had custody of my kids. It was impossible for me. For people to talk about privatization, they need to remember what happened when the privatization happened before 9/11. On September the 10th, those people that got on the planes, they got on their plane September 11th. They never made it home. Those folks in the World Trade Center, my friends and colleagues were there when that happened, and they work at TSA today. We love our jobs. We will never. We came to work. 90% of us came to work for 2 months without being paid almost. This is privatization. What the administrator needs to do, the acting administrator needs to call those 500 people that quit because they had no other option. They felt like they're at their wits' end, and there's mental fatigue. But these officers, they need to call these guys and ask them, "Well, you want to come back to work now? We're in a paid status," because nobody in America would go to a job and says, "Hey, we may not pay him. We'll decide where we're going to pay."
We're out of time. Johnny Jones, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Wish you all the best. And, for our audience out there, if you're going through an airport, thank a TSA officer because they're doing a lot of work right now. Thank you,
Jackie.
Hey, it's Will Kane. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News channel on YouTube. It's the best way to get our latest interviews and highlights. And click to subscribe to the Will Kane podcast for full episodes right now.